Aglorev Magazine Live is brought to you by
Feroga Leilani's Energy Exchange. Express yourself without saying a word.
and
Aglorev Entertainment. Mind, body, soul, energy healing.
Girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have fun. That's all they want.
Welcome back to Aglorev Magazine Live. I hope that you've been able to follow along and make the necessary changes in your life and rise to your highest timeline. I have more astrological guidance for you and ways to improve your dating life. We lose a beloved Food Network chef, and Trump declares that there are only 2 biological sexes. Do you have a sneaky link? And could you turn them into a long term? Or are you a breadcrumber? Love Island UK update and another movie recommendation. And stick around because I've got jokes to make you laugh. Or possibly feel bad for me, which can sometimes have the same effect. So stick around. Life may be feeling slightly difficult and challenging right now, as if we're swimming against the current. But that is exactly how it is supposed to feel. Starting the 15th of June, Jupiter in Cancer started to form a difficult and challenging exact square to Saturn in Aries. This alignment basically ushers in waves of obstacles, challenges, discomfort, and terrible situations to inspire both a reckoning and a redirection. As sad as we are for the world around us right now, we must not let ourselves feel overwhelmed. We should use this Jupiter-Saturn square as a sacred turning point to basically realize and remind ourselves that growth is seldom easy. Growth inspires commitment and devotion to the change. On one hand, we want to feel safe and protected, but on the other hand, we want to collectively unite and chart the new way forward. Squares bring obstacles, so this square right now is telling us to overcome this obstacle. Overcome this problem by inspiring integration. A lot of people's hearts have hardened, and this friction, this tension, may be exactly what we need to completely redefine and change our beliefs, priorities, behaviors, patterns, and values. Now is the time to make needed adjustments and corrections to better align ourselves with the correct path forward. If we want to change the rhythm of history, we need to go against the grain and allow this pressure, this tension, to strengthen us. This alignment, no matter the sign it falls in, will highlight the responsibilities or challenges that still need to be conquered to successfully expand, grow, evolve. And I've noticed that when this alignment appears, which can be 1 to 3 times a year, usually 1 or 2, it coincides with difficult civil collective unrest, challenges, obstacles, and or possible hard times. But this is when we allow this tension to strengthen us, go against the grain, fight for what we want, both collectively and personally. We should all be creating a plan for betterment, improvement, and success moving forward. And as we move into Cancer season, we have another point of tension with Mars squaring Uranus, right before Mars enters Virgo. If you are feeling the urge to act in a way that is illogical, ask yourself, is this coming from frustration or inspiration? With Uranus being the planet of sudden, unexpected things, and Mars being the planet of action and motivation, these two in tension with each other can be explosive. Luckily, after Mars moves into Virgo, it will sextile with Jupiter, which brings more harmony. This is a time of abundant opportunity, positive growth. We are reaching the end of Gemini season and will be in Cancer by Saturday. Cancer marks the beginning of summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Direct sunlight, crops growing rapidly, insects in abundance. Everyone is out to play. Esoterically, Cancer is where spirit enters the body and begins to wrestle for control over our vehicle, our body, our decisions, our decision making. Leo is where the winner is declared between our higher self and our lower self, who is actually in control. We're going from an air sign to a water sign. Water signs represent emotional and spirituality, and Cancer is the shore, the association with the crab. The shore is where water, spirit, and emotion meet land, our physical body or material life. So let your emotions loose. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, creative, and spiritual. Cancer is all about emotional authenticity, and it's a terrible season for people who are too emotionally rooted, because the waves of the ocean will just keep beating on their castles until they either fold or the sound of the beating waves drives them mad. If there was time to protest, this would be that time. Cancer loves the experiment. Gemini shows us different sides. Cancer mixes and matches and tries to make polarities work together. By Saturday, the Sun is also in a conjunction with Jupiter, which represents growth, abundance, opportunity, good luck, sometimes in excess. This is setting us up for an extremely rich and fulfilling summer. Mars is on the cusp of Leo and Virgo, the royal cusp. Have a sense of purpose and responsibility for your own situation. Take the lead in your life. This isn't a time to depend on others to make progress for you. This cusp is all about being willing to be the sun, the core principle anchoring energy in your life. You are so driven by your own purpose that you create a gravity around you and things begin to orbit around you. You have to play the main character in your life. However, with Leo and Virgo, it's about being your highest, most royal self, acting in a way that represents your highest self, your highest principles, your version of godliness. The combination of the Gemini Cancer cusp and the Leo Virgo cusp is like a boost of spiritual confidence and purpose. If you're willing to go all in, you're going to manifest things rapidly and in abundance. The moon in Pisces will be the luckiest days of the week, where you can really open up and just take an intuitive approach and watch good things happen. Now please listen to this part. If you are submissive and not focused on your own individual purpose by giving all of your energy to someone else or something else and just not having clear direction with what you're doing, you will be a part of someone else's magic and progress. It's really important to be selfish with your energy right now. Venus in Taurus bolsters that idea, wanting us to keep our heart energy very close to home, close to our own values, using that energy on things that matter to our survival, our quality of life, our financial security, and our health. Remember, the key is to be selfish, not narcissistic, but selfish with our energy. Don't just give it away. Focus it on things that matter. Remember, Pluto is in Aquarius, so there's going to be some level of chaos happening around us, or in the collective, society, the world. Try to separate that from your own personal progress. You'll do great. Breadcrumbing is a term for stringing someone along with small nuggets of communication, but never fully committing to a relationship. Today, those crumbs of communication tend to occur online. This person may respond to an Instagram story, like a Facebook photo, or text a funny meme. They may text back and forth periodically, but never seem to agree to plans in person. The connection stalls, unable to evolve into a fulfilling relationship. This ambiguity can feel confusing and hurtful to those on the receiving end. Maintaining hope that the relationship will progress. A breadcrumby may struggle to realize what's happening in the relationship. Breadcrumbing is a colloquial term that describes a pattern of behavior. It comes from a tale in which Hansel and Gretel leaving a trail of breadcrumbs in order to find their way home. Breadcrumbing is not an official psychological term or diagnosis. Breadcrumbing can be a confusing experience. Learning to spot the signs can help people name the behavior and process it. The signs include inconsistent and erratic communication, speaking via text or social media, but not committing to spending time together in person. Not following through on plans that are made. Surface level communication that lacks depth, vulnerability, or details about the person's life. An imbalanced relationship. They don't reciprocate your level of interest. Focusing on the physical side of the relationship rather than focusing on the sides of the relationship, all the sides of the relationship. Confusing and uncertain about the state of the relationship. If you're feeling a roller coaster of emotions such as sadness, then hopeful, then disappointment, once again. If you're feeling self-doubt or always questioning if you did something wrong, feeling anxious or dependent on the breadcrumber for the next point of contact. If you're feeling used or manipulated, if you're feeling badly about yourself after interacting with them, if you're feeling lonely or hopeless about the relationship, breadcrumbing can happen at any stage of a relationship. Ghosting and breadcrumbing are both forms of non-committal behavior. Both ghosting is when someone disappears entirely with no explanation, and breadcrumbing involves inconsistent communication that functions to string the person along. Another term involving non-committal behavior is orbiting. Staying in someone's orbit online by not spending time together in person. And submarining. Submarining is when they disappear and then resurface after a long period of time. Breadcrumbing involves a sporadic, shallow pattern of communication. These occasional moments of connection keep the person hopeful that a relationship may yet be possible. This often prevents the breadcrumbee from ending the relationship, even though they may be struggling with confusion, frustration, or disappointment. Research suggests that people who have been breadcrumbed tend to feel more lonely and more helpless and less satisfied with life. The prolonged nature of the process may in particular difficult, perhaps more so than ghosting. The person is stuck on standby, leading to feelings of uncertainty, anxiety, individualization, and at many reasons why breadcrumbing is hurtful. Firstly, social rejection is painful. Research has found similarities between social rejection and physical pain in the brain. Second, confusion and lack of closure can trigger self-doubt. Third, breadcrumbing can lead to isolation and loneliness because it discourages people from dating or seeking new connections. It can instill a sense of loss, such as in loss of trust or hope, the realization that one has led purpose its own challenges. The person may feel like they were betrayed or manipulated, which can invoke embarrassment, self-doubt, or withdrawal. Technology and social media have made it easier for people to drop in and occasionally contact, such as likes or DMs. Communicating in small occasional doses is easy now. The world of online dating also presents unlimited options, which contributes to the tendency to designate some potential mates as backups, to keep exploring one's options. Additionally, research on ghosting has found that people who are ghosted were more likely to ghost someone else. These findings suggest that the more these behaviors occur, the more they are normalized. The breadcrumber may or may not realize what they are doing and the effect they are having on others, whilst others may be more manipulative and recognize that stringing someone along allows them to benefit from the relationship when they want to, without investing further, since the person may or may not know how their behavior is coming across. You may even try asking them about it directly. It's natural to feel hurt by breadcrumbing once you realize that the other person's behavior is consistently non-committal. You can take steps to manage your emotions and recover the experience. It can sometimes feel like society today struggles with commitment when dating and friendships are at work. One way to handle flakiness is by acknowledging that it has affected you, rather than thinking that you shouldn't take it personally, or you should just get over it. Honor your moral integrity and the integrity of the reliable, committed people who surround you. Reflecting on your integrity and vowing to uphold it can help you recover your own power after being treated so disrespectfully. The cooking community is in mourning after Anne Burrell died at her home June 17th. Many flocked to social media to pay tribute, with the Food Network, where the 55-year-old hosted Worst Cooks in America and Secrets of the Restaurant Chef, sharing that they were deeply saddened by her passing. Anne was a remarkable person, a statement from the channel posted on Instagram. Teaching, competing, and always sharing the importance of food in her life and the joy that a delicious meal can bring. She was an incredible cook and teacher in addition to hosting her own shows. Burrell competed on several Food Network competitions, including Chopped, All-Star Tournament. She placed third on the inaugural season, with Nate Appleman and Aaron Sanchez beating her out for the top 2 spots. I'm broken by the loss of our dear friend, Chef Andrew Sanchez wrote on his Instagram, June 17th. Her spirit, her fire, her talent, her leadership, her laugh, unforgettable. I'll carry her memory with me always. Iron Chef competitor Robert Irvine also posted his own tribute, showing that their friendly rivalry was fueled by mutual respect. Remembering Burrell as a radiant spirit who lit up every room she entered, Burrell was found unconscious and unresponsive at the scene of her death. The New York City Police Department said at about 7:50 a.m. June 17th, officers from the 76th precinct responded to an unconscious and unresponsive 55-year-old female and pronounced her deceased. Cause of death is pending an autopsy with the Office of Chief Medical Examiner. Police did not name Burrell as the deceased, as they are working to notify the victim's family. However, an online search confirms the Food Network star's address matches the Brooklyn, New York one, police provided in their statements. Biden-appointed U.S. Judge Julia Kobach issued a ruling on 17th of June to temporarily block the Trump administration's move to only allow 2 genders, male and female, on U.S. passports. In line with an executive order signed by President Donald Trump, proclaiming the U.S. only recognizes 2 genders, and the Department of State eliminated the X design on passport applications and suspended a policy allowing people to identify as the opposite sex or as intersex or non-binary. The move was widely reported by media outlets as targeting transgender people. In April, Kobach, who is a federal judge for the U.S. District of Massachusetts, ruled to block the policy with regard to 6 people who sued the administration over it. Her ruling on the 17th of June extended her previous ruling to temporarily suspend the policy for all Americans. Kobach stated in her ruling that the suit against Trump administration policy is likely to succeed because she finds that it discriminates on the basis of sex, is arbitrary and capricious, and rooted in the irrational prejudice towards transgender American. Kobach wrote that transgender, the non-binary people who possess passports bearing sex markers that conflict with their gender identity and expression, are significantly more likely to experience psychological distress, suicidality, harassment, discrimination, and violence, and that obtaining gender identity documents is part of the standard of care for treating gender dysphoria. The judgment wrote that the policy would cause transgender individuals to experience anxiety and psychological distress or fear for their safety if they were required to travel with a sex designation corresponding to their sex assigned at birth, largely because they would effectively out themselves every time they presented their passport. Trump's order, titled Defending Women from Gender Ideology, Extremism, and Restoring Biological Truth to the federal government, directed executive agencies to recognize two sexes, male and female, saying these sexes are not challengeable and are grounded in fundamental and in controversially, though Kobach stated in a ruling that the government failed to demonstrate that the policies are substantially related to an important government interest. Trump's executive order states that efforts to eradicate the biological reality of sex fundamentally attack women by depriving them of their dignity, safety, and well-being, and that the erasure of sex in language and policy has a corrosive impact not just on women, but on the validity of the entire American system across the country. Ideologues who deny the biological reality of sex have increasingly used legal and other socially coercive means to permit men to self-identify as women and gain access to the intimate single-sex spaces and activities designed for women, for women's domestic abuse shelters, to women's workplace showers. This is wrong. Basing federal policy on truth is critical to scientific inquiry, public safety, moral, and trust in government itself, reads the order. As a natural-born, cisgendered woman, and the fact that I have to specify that is a bit much, but I actually agree with this. Women need safe spaces. Anyone with Y chromosome genetics is at a physical advantage, and sometimes they are not truthful so that they can gain access to vulnerable women. Perhaps there should be a third sex space for all transgenders. Could this be a compromise? Okay, so this week on Reality, we are discussing Sneaky Link. Sneaky Link is basically they are taking couples that were each other's sneaky link and trying to see if that can evolve into an actual long-term relationship or even just a serious relationship, something that is real as opposed to a sneaky link. Now, I'm not going to break down the couples in this one because the premise in itself is mostly what is doomed to fail. A lot of people reserve a lot of hope in reforming an F-boy, and a lot of people think that they can. And the thing is, a man is either going to be faithful or he's not. It's his personality. Even if he gets married, it is his basic makeup, it is his core personality, it is his programming. Only extreme life circumstances or something that makes him want to change, that's the only way this will change. And the thing is, a lot of men hide and tell you they changed. And the thing is, they will show you who they are. So you either have to be okay with someone who is going to cheat on you and still understand, have an open relationship, as a lot of marriages do, but still preserve the core values and life structure that you want to make with them. And that's usually why a lot of open relationships evolve, because they realize what character they are with, and perhaps they also have the same tendencies, but they appreciate the life that they've created together. And if it is an agreement, and if that is what you've agreed upon, then that's great. That is that is a blessing, that if you're on the same wavelength. Unfortunately, a lot of times you are not, and one partner is hurt. But it is an easier indicator if you understand this person before you get involved with them, which is why I do recommend to know them before you give them your physical and give them your heart and your soul. Know what you're getting into. Anyone can pretend. Know his past. Know what he's been through. Understand that if he has been a cheater, even if he says he won't be again, the likelihood is still higher. There are men that will not cheat. They are very hard to find, but there are men that won't cheat. So if you fancy a relationship and you want long term, you either need to be okay with the cheating, recognize the cheater and get rid of him so that you're not in that trap of emotion, or don't have long-term relationships. You can be a dater in relationships that are short-term. There is nothing wrong with that. That is completely okay. It depends on agreement. You're together until it's not good, and then you part. It's not a sneaky link, because it's not just based on physical. Physical is part of it, obviously, but you also share things like a regular traditional relationship, but you're not willing to go through the good and bad, sickness, health, all those things. Not necessarily leave as soon as things get bad, but when one or both of you are no longer happy, you've agreed to separate, and that's completely healthy, and it's good to have an open communication about that, so that they're trying more. They're making sure that you are always happy, because they know that you have this agreement that you'll bounce. So that is actually a good way to start a relationship if you want something short term but an actual real relationship, and it keeps it fresh, it keeps it exciting, and they're still trying to court you. But in the sneaky link, you must understand if it's evolved from a sneaky link, or they are a sneaky link of others, and you know that they've had that role. Understand, well, not if they've had that role to others, but if they've had that role to you. It's a little bit different if they've had it with others, because they may not value that other person. But if they've had that sneaky link role with you, understand that that is where they see you. Even if you're with them when a family member dies, if you give them money, if you save them from something, if you go out of it, no matter how much, give them a kidney, they will still see you as that sneaky link. So keep that in mind. With the knowledge that you have, try to make the best decisions, the best choices that you can. Understand yourself and recognize if you are open to an open relationship and willing to have that lifestyle, and then pick accordingly. Best of luck, and if you need help, you know where to find me. Okay, so after the first week of Love Island, it is pretty clear to see that we have a lot of F-boys. It is astounding how, like, even the ones who seem to have good qualities and green flags still say things that are red flag-ish. Okay, now I'm going to say that the only person in the entire villa who has kind of shown me the best side would be Shakira. Okay, she is wanted by most of them, and that is probably why she is so good at maneuvering the situations that are presented to her. She has very good discernment. She's very mature. The only red flag that she showed me was when she let Blue snog her. Why did she let that happen? That's the only thing she did that was lightly questionable. However, she is on Love Island, so we give her a little bit of grace. Now, when the fact that she allowed Helena to take the fella that she was coupled up with into the hideaway, Harry, and it was deliberate. She tapped his foot as a signal, let's go. He was in a full spoon with Shakira. When Helena tapped his foot, he got out of the spoon and walked away as if that wasn't conspicuous. Red flags everywhere, and he thinks this is appropriate behaviour that she's going to tolerate. That's the amazing part. He thinks this is okay. The other amazing part is Helena had the nerve to say there was no malice. How was there no malice? No one forced you to touch his foot. You knew with intention what was about to happen. You did it so that it would happen. And then you come back to her and say there's no malice. Shakira is the bigger person on all fronts. Every single interaction she had. It was not her fault that Ben was stolen from her. Hopefully he can learn. He does have potential. He does have F-boy tendencies. So we'll see what happens when he gets tested. But hopefully Shakira and Ben do last at the same frequency. So they blend. They are a match if he can stand temptation. They match frequencies. Now, Helena and Harry match because of the fact that they are both F people. Helena is very free physically, and yet she's surprised when Harry says this about her when he doesn't know he's being watched on the camera. But that is basically how you got him. So ladies, remember, how you get him is the image he has in his mind of you. Camilla became the queen, but Prince Charles still denies her all the benefits. So he will always remember her as being the mistress. No matter how lifelong love, no matter how long, no matter how many things change in the relationship, he will still see you as that first thing that he found you as, which is why it's very important to start the foundation of relationships correctly, because they will remember and you will silently pay for it, whether you realize it or not, through their actions. So that's the only thing I have worried about Shakira and the kiss with Blue, because even Ben said she seems like she hides things, and that's not entirely fair. But with women, we are held to such a devout piety, and men are allowed to do whatever they want. So that scares me with their relationship, because he has seen her do that kiss with Blue. Now, I do encourage you to have a Rolodex of dating, but try to keep your playgrounds clean. Try not to have intersecting ones that can make things messy. So in the villa, it's going to get messy naturally. That's why we're watching reality. But there is a way that you can maneuver it to not have the mess, to avoid a little bit of the messiness. She didn't have to let Blue kiss her, but it is the show, it's drama, whatever. She is the most balanced and emotionally intelligent person in there, just to so far. Now, Ben, he's a little bit wishy-washy. He had more interest in her when he saw the others did. So again, we'll see what happens with the testing. Blue's gone, rightfully so. That's all I'm going to say on that one. He I believe has an idea of women because his mum owns a sex shop, and yeah, I mean, you can't really blame him because that's the light that he sees women in. But this is also why it is important to know people's history and their family's history, so you kind of have an idea, a shape of what their scope is of your sex, who you are. So bye Blue. Harry's still there. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of drama with him. He has so many red flags. I don't think he takes Helena seriously. These bombshells that just came in, the 3 girls, he's probably going to interact and engage with them. He's probably the weakest link. Then there's the surprisingly Dejan. He seems like he would be the Fidel, the loyal, the calmest one, the most relationship one. But I believe he's the one who said, I've been in here 3 days and I haven't had any action. Red flag. Why would you think 3 days is too long to not have action? Yeah, I don't know. I have my eye on him. He may switch up when he is tested. He may be one of those ones that's a sleeper until he's tested. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on him. Meg, she's a sweetheart. She doesn't seem pretentious at all. She seems like exactly who she is, and hopefully he does not break her, or hopefully she gets someone better. But even if she did find someone better because of who she is, I believe she would stay with him. She's very loyal because that's in her energy. And Alima, yeah, I have questions about her because she heard that the fella she was with had been with 5 people in one night. Yes, he said he changed, but did they really change, love? Their core personality is always going to be the same. They may hide it, they may move differently, they are that person. So unless they have a really, really, really good reason, a strong reason to change, That's who they are. Tommy is adorable. With Megan, they're in an adorable relationship. But again, we'll see when they get tested. Their vibrations match as well. So hopefully that one works. That's an adorable one. So far, they have not shown. They are the only pair that has not shown a red flag on either side. So that is, not that I can remember, that's a positive. So I would say number one couple would be Tommy Megan. Number two would be Shakira and Bain. Number three, I would have to give to Dejon and Meg. And then Alima would be the next, and then Harry and Helena would be at the very bottom, as far as the examples that should be set for what a relationship standards and what to expect and the dynamics and the healthiness. So after the first week, already showing a lot of signs of F-boy tendencies and actions and words in the locker room. Oh yeah, that was another thing that was distasteful. Blue immediately went and told everyone. That is a major, 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 major red flag. The fact that he did not respect her, he did not value her, he did not ask her. If you notice that a man is going and telling your business, especially sensitive physical business, leave him alone. Because if he's willing to do, like, it's such a distaste, it was disgust. He's not a man. I have not seen a man yet. They're all lads. But yeah, even the 30-year-old, Harry is the 30-year-old, he's the oldest one, and yet he is the worst. So age has nothing to do with anything. Values, character. Tommy, I believe he's the youngest, and he's the best one so far. So yeah, age is a number, age is not real. Age is just a way of society to shame you into everyone acting the same and producing at the same rate and accepting illness as age. So stop believing in age. Believe in character. Believe in frequency. Believe in your senses. You will know. You will feel it. But you have to heal so that your picker will get better. So the first week was amazing. It was exciting. Did not disappoint. Hopefully, I'm rooting for Tommy and Megan, and I am rooting for Ben and Shakira. Although, if a better match comes in for Shakira, she deserves it. So the variable is Ben. We'll see. Haven't had much luck with benches. But anyway, so great finish to week one of Love Island UK. See you next week. Okay, today's movie I recommend is going to be another Apple TV film. And I just want to say that Apple TV has a great lineup of actors, writers. The quality of their projects is amazing to me. I know that you need an Apple TV add-on to watch the past two films that I am recommending, although with Prime Video it's inexpensive, so you should try it, even if you get it for a month and then cancel it. I believe it's only like $10. The quality of programs that they have is just fantastic, and this is not, there is no endorsement. But the thing is, the next film that I recommend is also from Apple TV, and it's with Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney, and it is called Echo Valley. Now, the thing about this is there is a lot of surprise, there are a lot of twists and turns, a lot of intrigues. I do not want to ruin it for you, but I can normally guess how a film is going to end, and once you get to a certain point you can see the pieces fall together, but it is extremely, it does very well at keeping those surprise moments fresh. It keeps them it's very well built. The action is very well built, and the thing is, this film is a lesson in love and a lesson in, it is a mother-daughter, but it is in all love relationships. It's kind of what you're willing to go through, and of course with a mother, because you create that child in your womb, you are willing to do the most that any human will do for any other human, for your offspring. Now the thing is, not all children are great, and this film solidifies my decision to not want to create my own spawn. But the thing is, unfortunately a lot of women struggle with this issue, and the thing is, you have to know when to draw the line. You have to know when is too much for a loved one, and this is something that a lot of people do not know where to draw that line, and a lot of people also think about how others will interpret their actions or judge them, and that is something that you should never think about. You should always think of yourself first. This film, Julianne Moore is a mum, her daughter is a drug addict, and the parents are divorced because of a lot of hardship, and Julianne falls in love with a female stable hand, so she becomes LGBTQ. The father tells Julianne that obviously the daughter's going to lie, she's a drug addict, stop believing her, she only wants money. Julianne has a horse ranch, and she that is her life, that is how she lives, and she is needing money. She goes to her ex-husband because her wife is passed. She goes to her ex-husband, asks him for money. This is when the daughter, Sydney Sweeney, comes back into the life, and of course you take her at face value and you do not realise she's running a scam on her own mother, because she knows that her mother will come through for her. I don't want to give you more than that because I want the surprises to stay fresh for you as well. But yes, Echo Valley is it's a great film, and it gives you an idea of what you would put up with for a loved one. It makes you think about those things. It makes you realise that for self-preservation, for protection of self, it is okay to take actions to protect yourself, no matter how close, no matter what the relationship, no matter how long you've known someone, no matter what the blood connection. You always protect you. And unfortunately, that's what other people are doing as well. So, if possible, protect you and still be in commune with others. But if they come to attack you, always protect you. So check it out, Echo Valley on Apple TV. You'll love it. See you next week.
And now we want you to put your hands together in welcoming Burrell Leilani to the stage.
I hate getting compliments from white people, especially white women. The men keep it simple and objectifying. You're beautiful. What are you? I'm human, Caucasian man. But white women, I know it's going to be followed up with either an ignorant comment, an invasive question, an excuse as to why they don't have the same or get ready with me request.
No way!
Your nails are so beautiful and not yellow and crusty. Your lips are beautiful. Are they real? Your breasts look great. Can I touch them? I love your hair. I would do mine, but I just don't have the time anymore, and it gets expensive. I love your makeup. Do you do it like that every day? What do you use on your skin? It's so glowy. Can I feel it? And they've already grabbed me before they even ask. And they always pause and stare and wait, like they want some form of credit or acknowledgement, as if I didn't do these things on purpose. Their acknowledgement is what made it great. Firstly, a compliment does not disguise rudeness.
Nope.
And secondly, I will not be gentrified, so leave me alone.
And check out the latest from Aglorev Entertainment for all of your level up needs.